Good Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Diane Phillips, and I hope that you have some moments yet that you're going to be able to head out there and enjoy the mild temperatures that we have. We don't always have 70s, but I'm happy that we have those 70s and sun to go with them. So make sure you're enjoying the nice weather while we have it, because as we see that sunset and even later on into the night, we will have those clouds that do start to move in, and we'll continue to see clouds increasing because there'll be a little more of a change coming in our forecast. But for today, though, like I said, soak it in while we have it. Temperatures are going to be into the mid 70s. We'll have partly cloudy skies while you're out there, but mid 70s is very warm for this point in November. And it's not unusual for us to have temperatures like this, but it's just not very common either. When I'm looking at those hourly temperatures to come, at lunchtime we were into those upper 60s, and really into the afternoon, that peak heating around 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, allowing those temperatures to go into the mid 70s. So the sun doing the trick, but also southerly winds, another source of some warmth that we have locally. Now, hour by hour, you are going to find that we are kind of in that warm sector. So southerly winds are sourcing a lot of that warmer temperatures that we can see towards our south. Those are moving on in because of that southerly flow. Another thing that we'll be watching is the remnants of Tropical Storm Nicole to move in. A cold front, though, will protect us, and that's why only some of us will be seeing a little bit of wet weather for our Friday. Mainly those that are along and east of I-75 will be working with the rainfall, but still a little bit further west. Your rain chances do still exist. They will just be on the smaller side. Now, behind the cold front, it will be fairly gusty. You will feel that as you're out and about on Saturday. And as far as the cold air, it's enough to turn on the lake effect snow machine. So we will have some snow showers that will be possible as we head throughout our Saturday. So mainly that'll just equal out to a couple of flurries that will be in the air. I don't anticipate any travel impacts or any issues for the weekend plans that you already have made. Now, of course, though, when you keep an eye on radar, you'll probably see a little bit of that lake effect snow shower action. So with the cold weather on the way, use that radar on the WTOL 11 weather app to make sure you are staying up to date on the latest. Now, we will find even in those hourly forecasts, the clouds do thicken and temperatures are going to start to drop. Still tomorrow going to be a mild one for us, but we are still going to be looking at below average temperatures. So where should we be at this point in the season? Highs should be into the mid 50s and lows should be into the mid 30s. So this morning, well above that, with a lot of us holding on the upper 40s to 50s. And when we're talking mid 70s, you can definitely tell the difference. But that does also, though, mean that we are falling short of a record set back in 2020. So not that long ago, we saw 79 degrees on this day here in November. So that's why I said 70s, they're not out of question, because we have seen and felt them recently. The thing is, though, is they're just not very common. We don't typically have a long stretch of those. And thankfully, we're not talking record lows as far as lows being into the teens. It'd be a bit chilly. Now, we had that sunrise in the 7 o'clock hour, but your sunset is going to be at 5:20 p.m. So that's going to be right ahead or just getting into that dinner hour. So keep that in mind, because you can still have lunch out on the patio. The issue is that sunlight might be a little more troublesome on that. But when we look at that high temperature trend, take advantage of being outdoors this afternoon. Temperatures into the mid 70s for today and 60 degrees as we head into your Friday. But you will find we hit the brakes and then we are steady going into those lower 40s. And even a couple of days, we will have some readings that are just below that 40-degree mark into the upper 30s. But I'm not seeing much of a warming trend as we get settled into the middle portion of November. So plan on this cool spell to be sticking for a while. And as we look at your weekend forecast, like I said, you're making some plans, and we will have a few flurries with those windy lake effect conditions that we'll have. But overall, again, no travel impacts for your Saturday. It will be colder with highs in the lower 40s, and it'll just be windy. But Sunday, we'll have a little more sun trying to poke back out, and yet it'll still be quite chilly with temperatures that'll be right around 40 degrees. Now, if you are thinking, okay, it's a little bit cooler, now I can get those lights out, but you didn't quite maybe take advantage of the warm weather that we had last weekend, you have dry conditions for Saturday and Sunday to get that done. Sure, you'll have a few snow flurries and it'll be a little bit cooler, but still overall for the weekend, if you need to put up some Christmas lights, this is the forecast that we're working with. You will find Friday that temperatures will be into the lower 60s. And that's the day, though, that we're watching out for a little bit of wet weather. So just keep that in mind. If you have Friday afternoon off, that's when we will see that rainfall leave, but it could slow down your plans as far as getting those decorations out. Now on the extended forecast, once we get through the wet weather Friday and a few flurries Saturday, dry conditions for Sunday and Monday and even into Tuesday. But it is the middle of next week that I am watching for some rain and snow showers. We'll have those towards the middle to later half as we have a system that'll be moving in. So we're keeping an eye to this one because, of course, with temperatures that are into the 30s, lows that'll be into the 20s, it could be cold enough to start talking frozen precipitation. Something that we haven't done yet this season as we've been having such a mild autumn season. Overall, though, I'm not seeing anything as far as major impacts for the middle of next week. But of course, make sure you stay updated with the WTOL 11 weather team. You always have a full look at the latest information and this 10-day forecast right there on the app. So make sure you give that a download.